It's recording. So this is the gas station rewards mid-sprint 4. So our team is Jacob, Belz, Abdul, and myself.
And so with the gas station rewards group, we were going to try to make a mobile/desktop app that lets you put in transactions for a gas station, and then that'll give you points based on the transaction. And then you can spend those points to also get rewards from a rewards list that costs points into money. And the system will also have an inventory of like the store with the items, so the user can also like look at an inventory. And we've completed connecting the database in so we can read points. And now that we can read points from the database, we can start doing other things from reading from the database, which would help, which is what we're going to do when we create the registration page. We've also swapped over from React App to React Native. Yeah, auth is going to be implemented the second we get the registration page up.
And for problems and solutions. So when we wanted to test our code, our Android Studio virtual devices would not work. So we fixed that by creating a new Google Pixel 6 Pro virtual device. Because originally we were using Google Pixel 3, so we had to update that. And then when we were remaking our project for React Native, we had a ton of errors. We based our UI off a project from the internet that we saw, and we also installed a bunch of new libraries such as React Native Gallery and Pixel and Basic and all of that, and also TypeScript. And we had to fix some errors in our code because they simply weren't functioning, so we had to switch them around so we could fix them. We also cannot call the function from the constructor. So we fixed that by calling after the this.state section with this.getTest. This is to get our test values for the transaction points. And we also cannot fetch data from the database in the beginning, and we fixed that by using the IP address of the database instead of localhost. And for open issues this past mid-sprint, we had none. But for risks, we only had the security of our virtual machine instance on our database. We were worried about it because the passwords have been set up and the SSH key should be secure, but we're still considering installing stuff that's purely for security, just for more security.
The database diagram has been updated to have the primary keys underlined now. As you can see, most of them are just one, as the transaction ID is pretty much usually always unique. There are some situations where we have two, though.
And this is our
the view
view
transaction activity
transaction.
diagram from last week. Last week I actually made that third bubble just say activity. I've updated it so that the program informs the user of successful update and actually put the correct text in.
So this is our class diagram. So this is also from last week. We just updated with a couple extra things on here. So we have the access modes for the attributes and the functions. We have the data types for the attributes. We also have the return types for the functions and the input parameter types for the functions. And then there's also a couple other classes on here. The spend rewards screen was split between choose rewards and spend rewards, and a render rewards screen was added as that is just a helper class for the choose reward screen to display items. And then these are all one-to-one connections, except for this one between choose rewards and render rewards. As for each reward, this will be called. This is our current product backlog. This has been updated up into what's current. So all these have been completed up to adapting the React app for React Native. Adding a registration page is in progress, and the rest are not started yet. We currently have these 3 or 4 for the left for the sprint. This is our current Trello board. This is the ones we have left to do for this sprint. This is the ones we're in progress, and these are all of the completed ones. And now we'll do the demo. So this is our newest application. So we'll start with the database. So these are the 2 tables that we're using currently. So the user info, this is where we get the current user ID using the Gmail that were provided. Currently, it is hard-coded as tests. And then this is the user points table. We use the user ID and then read in the right number of points. So now if we move on, so this is our database connection. So we're using Node.js. These are those 2 tables, the points and the users, and we'll just fetch that information from here. Now if we go here, we have a register page. At the moment, it's just the Google login button, but we will have some fields for name and Gmail and address. So if we go back here, this is pretty much all that'll be on this page. The user can log in using the Google login. This will eventually connect to OAuth, and then we'll get the user's information from there. But at the moment, it just passes along the test Gmail. Now this is our store page. It's called the store page, just from the one we used. This shows all of the rewards that we can use, that the user can buy. These are the number of points that they have. This is going to be the Gmail for the user, so it'll display that. And this will show their number of points. If we can add something that the user wants to buy with their points. And it'll show up here. And then if you do spend points, it'll tell the user how much points they've just spent, and eventually this will also remove that number of points from the user's account. So if we go back here, this does update. So this is the 20 points that this test user has, and that is located in the database. This will dynamically update depending on which user is in there. So for user test has user ID of 1. If it was any of these other users, though, it would have this number of points. And that is it for the demo.